Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Mansit. Now, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nominated former Rivers Southeast Senator Magnus Ebe as chairman of Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, seeking the Senate's confirmation for him and 20 other nominees to serve on the boards of the two key petroleum regulatory agencies. A statement by the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, stated that Abe will lead the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission Board alongside other non-executive commissioners, including Paul Jezhi, a former trade union Congress chairman in Kaduna, and Sunday Babalola, a former deputy director of the defunct Department of Petroleum Resources. In a separate letter to the Senate, the president requested expedited approval for board members of the commission and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Regulatory Authority. Former councillors who served under the administration of former Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has thrown their weight behind Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's potential defection to the ruling All Progressive Congress APC. During a visit to the NNPP chairman in Kano, the group commended Governor Yusuf for his continued efforts towards the political and infrastructural development of the state. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
The political atmosphere in Kano has been heating up in recent days as consultation intensified regarding Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's possible move to the APC. This gathering is one of many receptions organized by party stakeholders showing growing support for the governor's potential defection.
I'm requesting the all leaders to move or defect from NNPP to APC because we feel this is the best, way to go about it, especially as the election is nearing, 2027 election is coming closer, and this is the best way that I think we feel that Kano State can actually be safer, be more secure, be more peaceful.
According to the State Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Ibrahim Waya, discussions have reached an advanced stage, and it is only a matter of time before Governor Yusuf announces his decision to the public.
We really want our two leaders to consider these humble requests for the people that they should actually defect from the NPP to APC because as far as the state is concerned, as far as the people in the state are concerned, this is exactly what they want.
Addressing rumor of a rift between Governor Yusuf and his political mentor, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, the commissioner stated that the relationship between the two remains strong and cordial.
The real situation is that the governor, Ali Abba Kabir Yusuf, and also the national leader of the NPP, Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, they are still very close. They still relate as father and as son, and nothing has in any way disrupted or rather hurt their own relationship. Their own relationship is still very intact. Nothing has actually happened.
Meanwhile, the former councillors have expressed their full support for Governor Yusuf, urging him to heed the calls of Kano people and formally join the APC in the interest of unity, continuity, and progress in the state. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
At least 26 people drowned and 14 others are missing after both carrying farmers and fishermen capsized in northeastern Nigeria. Executive Director of the State Emergency Management Agency in Yobe State, Mohammed Goje, stated that the incident happened when a makeshift passenger boat going from Jigawa State to Yobe State capsized. Here is the report of Zarau Nasser.
Mohammed Goje noted that 13 other passengers were rescued, adding that search and rescue operations were still underway. Accidents are common on Nigeria's busy rivers, often caused by overloaded boats, poor maintenance, or failure to comply with safety regulations. Sanusi Ahmed is a boat worker and shares his thoughts on the incident.
It has been about 2 or 3 years since we last experienced an accident on our waterways. From what we understand, the accident must have been as a result of overloading However, we try our best to manage the load to avoid placing excessive demand on our boats.
Meanwhile, Yobe State Governor Memala Buni has condoled with the families of the deceased, describing the incident as a monumental loss. Several dozens die each year in various accidents along the Nigeria's waterways. Zahra Nasser reporting for Global TV.
Meanwhile, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, has expressed deep sadness over a boat mishap that claimed the lives of 29 people and left several others injured in Yobe State, northeast Nigeria. In a condolence message issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Musa Kirshi, the Speaker lamented the tragic incident which occurred on Saturday at Garbi town in Nguru local government area of the state. Abbas extended his heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims as well as people in government of Yobe State, describing the incident as a painful loss not only to the affected communities but to the nation at large. Moving on now to the Independent National Electoral Commission has resumed nationwide continuous voters registration exercise, signaling the start of a second phase of the process. Now, the resumption, which took effect on Monday, was confirmed by the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Adedayo Oketola. The resumption follows the conclusion of the first phase of the CVR, which officially ended on December 10th, 2025. INEC had earlier launched online pre-registration for the exercise on August 18th, 2025, before rolling out physical registration at designated centers across the country on August 25th, 2025. In a statement issued in December, the Commission disclosed that a total of 9,891,801 Nigerians initiated the online pre-registration process during the first phase of the exercise. Stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, have outlined far-reaching conditions for reconciliation as consultations continued to resolve the party's lingering internal crisis. Key issues under discussion include the party structure, possibility of another convention, public apologies, and other fundamental reforms seen as necessary to restore unity. Members of both the Tanimu Turaki and Abdul Rahman Mohammed-led fractions of the National Working Committee reportedly confirmed that talks are still at an early stage, noting that options being considered include convening a National Executive Committee meeting or holding another national convention to address the disputed leadership positions. An African Democratic Congress fraction has formally inaugurated its zonal state and appeal Congress committees nationwide, a move aimed at straightening the party structures and ensuring smooth conduct of Congresses ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, the inauguration was announced in Abuja by the fractional national chairman, Nafiu Gombe, at a press conference. Nafiu said the committees were established to oversee the planning and execution of Congresses at the zonal, state, local government, and ward levels in strict compliance with the ADC Constitution and Electoral Act. Now, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has assured residents that 2026 will bring greater dividends of democracy. Reflecting on 2025, Wike described it as a very good year for the FCT, noting that significant changes across the territory. He also said while not every goal was achieved due to the few setbacks, 2025 remains a landmark year, expressing hope that residents will witness even more positive transformations in 2026. Moving on now to the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria in Kaduna State has denied reports that it is planning a statewide strike, insisting that health services across the state will continue without disruption. This is according to the statement issued by the union and addressed to the head of the Kaduna State Civil Service. The union said the claims which have been circulating on social media are false, unverified, and capable of causing unnecessary public anxiety. On education, now the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has called on candidates intending to register for the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, and direct entry to commence and create their profiles immediately. The board issued the update in a weekly bulletin urging candidates to ensure their National Identification Number, NIN, details are accurate before creating their profiles ahead of the registration exercise. Now, the board also warned that errors in NIN data could lead to avoidable challenges during registration and subsequent examination processes. Now, on Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has reshuffled his cabinet, relieving the secretary to the state government, Olanike Adeyemo, of her appointment with immediate effect. This is contained in a statement by his special advisor, Media, Suleiman Olariwaju, in Ibadan, the state capital. The governor appointed Professor Masubu Babatunde as a new secretary to the state government, SSG. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has officially released the schedule for the Direct Short Service Commission, DSSC 34 enlistment interviews for candidates who successfully made the short list. The announcement made via the Air Force official X account signals the next stage of the recruitment process for applicants seeking commission through the DSSC 34 2025 intake. The statement further said the list of shortlisted candidates have been published on the Nigerian Air Force official recruitment portal, and those selected are invited to participate in the selection and enlistment interviews. The Benue State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Edet Udeme, has confirmed a fire incident at the police mobile force facility in the state, which destroyed offices and the armory. A video obtained by Global TV News shows the facility engulfed in flames, with sections of the complex reduced to ashes. While the police have confirmed the incident, the exact cause of the fire is yet to be disclosed, while investigations are ongoing. Now, in the footage, a distressed voice is heard describing the scale of destruction, stating that the armory was completely consumed by the blaze. Despite prevailing security challenges and heightened fear across both urban and rural communities in Sokoto State, the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEC, has directed all public primary and junior secondary schools to resume for the second term on Monday, January 5, 2026, yesterday. In a statement signed by the Executive Chairman of SUBEC, Umar Tambawal, the board assured parents and the general public that all necessary arrangements have been concluded to guarantee a smooth and orderly commencement of the new term. Tambawal urged key stakeholders in the basic education sector, including parents and guardians, traditional and religious leaders, school-based management committees, and Parents-Teachers Association to cooperate fully with the ensured pupils return to school promptly despite the prevailing security concerns. The remains of the senator representing Nasarawa North, Godiya Akwashiki, has arrived in Nigeria from India, where he died last Wednesday. The body was received at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Cargo Terminal in Abuja. Among those present to receive the remains were the acting national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, Professor Sadiq Gombe, the party's former presidential candidate Adewale Adebayo, former governor of Nasarawa State Umar Al-Makura, chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Solid Minerals Jonathan Gaza, former Minister of Information Labaran Maku, and other political associates. Now, you are watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, Dangote Refinery pumps 43 million litres, denies facility shut down. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the Nigerian Exchange, NGX Limited, recorded a major milestone on Monday as its market capitalization crossed the 100 trillion naira mark for the first time. Data obtained from the NGX showed that total market capitalization closed at 101.80 trillion naira, reflecting sustained investor confidence and strong performance across key sectors of the market. The historic surge underscores the growing depth of Nigeria's capital market, driven by increased participation from both domestic and foreign investors, as well as price appreciation in several large capitalization stocks. Officials of Dangote Petroleum Refinery have said that the plant pumped 43.3 million litres of premium motor spirit petrol into the Nigerian market. The officials debunked claims that the refinery had shut down its petrol processing unit for maintenance. They also noted that some marketers were only looking for excuses to increase petrol gantry prices, which refinery crashed from 828 naira to 699 naira per litre. Moving on to Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN has cautioned that higher concentration risk from the ongoing banking sector recapitalization could trigger investor fatigue and crowd out other issuers in the capital market. The warning was conveyed in the Apex Bank's microeconomic outlook for 2026, noting that this combined with rising non-performing loans may weaken banks' balance sheets and pose systematic risks to the financial sector. It added that significant rise in non-performing loans could impair asset quality and weaken banks' balance sheets, thereby posing systematic risk. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, OPEC Plus, have agreed to pause their planned oil supply increases to the first quarter of 2026, opting to maintain current production levels aimed at growing global surplus and uncertainty surrounding future output from Venezuela. The decision was reached at a brief meeting that was reportedly led by the group's dominant producers, Saudi Arabia and Russia. Delegates at the meeting said it would be premature to adjust supply policy in response to recent political development in Venezuela following the reported capture of the country's leader, Marcos Maduro, by United States forces. On the foreign scene now, Pope Leo has expressed deep concern over recent United States raid in Venezuela, urging that the well-being of Venezuelan people must take precedence over all other considerations. Speaking during his traditional blessing at the Vatican, the Pope called for an immediate end to violence and stressed the importance of respecting Venezuela's sovereignty. He said the unfolding situation should lead to justice and peace, not further instability. United States President Donald Trump has threatened his Colombian counterpart, Gustavo Petro, following Washington's abduction of Venezuela's leader, and said he believed that the government in Cuba, too, was likely to fall soon. Trump's warning came despite a growing outcry over the Brazilian abduction of Nicolas Maduro, with Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, Uruguay, and Spain condemning the U.S. action as a dangerous precedent for peace and regional security. Trump told reporters on board Air Force One that Colombia and Venezuela were, in his words, very sick, noting that the government in Bogota was run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. Venezuela's Supreme Court has appointed Vice President Delcy Rodriguez as interim president following the capture of President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces. The court said Rodriguez would assume executive power to guarantee administrative continuity and national defense amid the president's forced absence. Over now to Mukhtar Kasim for more details.
The appointment of an interim president in Venezuela followed the capture of President Nicolas Maduro, who was flown to the United States amid U.S. airstrikes in Caracas. U.S. President Donald Trump announced the operation and outlined plans for a temporary U.S. administration of the country, while Venezuela declared a state of national emergency. Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were captured in Caracas on Saturday and transported to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. They face charges related to drug trafficking, which Maduro has long denied. Venezuelan authorities immediately declared a state of national emergency, condemning the strike as military aggression and demanding proof of life for the president and his wife. Eyewitnesses in Caracas reported explosions, smoke.
Protective gear in the way he is being held by the agent there.
Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice.
Trump indicated that U.S. oil companies would repair Venezuela's infrastructure and generate revenue for the country. fueling international debate over the true motives behind the intervention.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
The capture of Maduro marks a historic escalation in United States-Venezuela tensions, with the world divided over the legality and ethics of the strike. Venezuelans remain in shock. International bodies are calling for restraint, and Trump's statement continues to dominate the political narrative. As Maduro sits in U.S. custody, the fate of Venezuela's leadership and future stability hangs in the balance, while the international community closely monitors each development. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global Television News.
In sports news now, Nigeria continue their quest for fourth African Cup of Nations title when they face Mozambique in the round of 16 on Monday at the First Stadium. Victory will secure the Super Eagles' 12th quarter-final appearance, extending their record for the last 8 finishes ahead of Egypt, while Mozambique will make their debut at this stage after reaching the knockout phase for the first time in 6 attempts. The two sides have met 5 times across all competitions, with Nigeria undefeated against the Mombas, winning their 4, drawing 1. Manchester United have sacked Ruben Amorim as their manager. This follows Amorim's comments after their 1-1 draw with Leeds United. The Portuguese criticized United hierarchy, asking them to do their jobs in a feisty press conference. And that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @GlobalTVNG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Up next is Global Morning. Stay tuned.